Denmark to cull entire 13 million mink herd as new mutation of Covid-19 discovered in mink farms. Mink export is roughly 1% of Denmark's entire GDP.
Here's a summary of the article.
1-minute read: Copenhagen, Denmark will cull its entire herd of mink due to the risk of coronavirus mutations, the country's prime minister said on Wednesday. The country's authorities have registered a mutation of the new coronavirus in mink, which has spread to humans, Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen said at a press conference. The mutated virus in mink may pose a risk to the effectiveness of a future vaccine, she said. Outbreaks at mink farms have persisted in the Nordic country, the world's largest producer of mink skins, despite repeated efforts from authorities to cull infected herds since June.
This post received a score of 86,000, with an upvote ratio of 90%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
We had heard it was extremely contagious to mink. This is not good news. Mink farms in other countries might have to follow suit.
Yeah, this is bad news. Transmission between the animals is bad enough, but the repeated transmission between animals and humans, zoonosis by the way, will make contagion, treatment and vaccination a nightmare.
Since it's one of those words that lends itself to sound like it is something else, zoonosis is not the process but the type of disease. Basically, the coronavirus is a zoonosis, or a disease that is transferable between humans and animals. The coronavirus and rabies are zoonoses. You can also just say it's zoonotic.
Thank you, you're right, I wasn't being clear. It's a zoonotic disease, and that makes it hard to track and nearly impossible to eradicate.
Is that simply because each time it's transferred it mutates to something slightly different?
Wildlife create a reservoir from which a bug can jump back to humans, i.e. rabies. Zoonotic diseases are exceptionally difficult to eradicate. It's never been done. Edit just to clarify: rabies, Nipah, herpes B, SARS-1 and 2, Ebola, and many others are zoonoses. Rabies is just the easy schoolhouse example of an animal reservoir.
Not fully eradicate, but a few countries have managed to reach an endemic status with zoonotic diseases, such as France and rabies. Rabies has been eliminated from most of Europe for the time being, but it requires active efforts to keep it from re-spreading here.
Active efforts being the extremely key phrase here. Smallpox won't re-emerge if we continue to do nothing. But you miss up a year's dose of bait vaccines, and you suddenly have a rabies cluster.
More, a newly discovered Covid-19 strain which could be more deadly than the current strain has been discovered in 12 people in northern Jutland. Scientists believe the mutation stems from mink farms. More, ECDC, WHO and the EU Commission have been informed of the newly discovered Covid strain. Initial research points to antibodies and treatment being significantly less effective against the new strain. More, Danish government warns that if the new strain is spread, it will have irreversible global impacts and could delay vaccine development.
Same in the Netherlands. All mink farms have to be shut by this spring. All mink will be gassed.
In 2013, mink farming was forbidden, and existing farms were given 10 years to earn back their investments and round up and end their business. Mink farmers had until January 1, 2024 to close up their farms. A couple months back it was first determined that once a mink farm had been cleared, they were no longer allowed to repopulate the farm, they had to close down. The government had already set aside €32 million, and has now increased that amount with an additional €150 million, for compensation of lost revenue and for the cost of converting the farms to something else, like a chicken farm.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.